folks, welcome back to College Hill Farm. Well, it's a brisk 7 degrees this morning, and it's too cold to work on the tractor shed, but I'm going to work here in the shop. Got to warm it up first though. It will take that wood stove probably an hour and a half to get it up to say 45-50 degrees in here. So I'll go ahead and let that warm up, and then we're gonna work on my saw. Now what's going on is, you know that I broke the little handles that makes the saw tilt and the one that raises the saw up and down. I broke the tilt one some years ago, and I've just been using a pair of vice grips to tilt the saw when I need to tilt it. Very seldom do you ever tilt a table saw. Some people do it often, but I just very seldom ever tilt my table saw. I've also got to make the up and down easier. I think that's what broke the handle. Of course, the handle was 25 years old. A piece of plastic 25 years old. I think it held up pretty good. Now, I found 2 handles on eBay that will fit it. So I bought those. I tried making a piece of plastic, but now I'm not done with playing with the plastic stuff, so be certain to come back for those. I've got several of the Blue Barrel videos yet to go. But I've got to lubricate this thing. What's happening is it's real hard to make it go up and down, and that's what's breaking those handles off. The same thing with the tilt. The tilt doesn't want to tilt back and forth, so that's what breaks those handles off. But I've got to do some maneuvering around to get to where I can show you. I may even have to take the bottom of the saw off in order to get to show you. But I think I can do it without that. I'll just have to take the motor off. So hang around, and we will get at this as soon as the shop warms up a little bit. And I'm going to go get in the warm. Okay, we are up to about 32 degrees out here. Still, I can see my breath a little bit, but it's not as bad as it was. So what we're going to do, we have to take this off. Now, if I wasn't doing this for a video, I wouldn't take this motor off. I would just reach back in here with my hand and do that. Now, there's a metal plate right here. Okay? I don't know how well you can see that. There's a metal plate right here on the bottom of this. And that plate is a homemade dust collection port. So I don't want to take that off. In order to do it, I have to take the whole saw apart in order to take that homemade dust collection plate off. I made that probably 20 years ago. So I'll just take the motor off. That'll be the easier part. So first off, I'm going to loosen. The motor is held on. Let me get you off the tripod here so I can show you. The motor is held on by 2 sliders. Okay, one there and one there, and 2 bolts, one on each side, and then I can pull the motor out after I take the belt loose. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen those sliders first, just using a socket. You don't have to take these all the way out, you just have to loosen them up. There's one loosened up. Ain't much room in there. Oh. Move my little light. There we go. I think that's enough. Okay, that's got that loosened up enough, and now this should slide in and out. But I'm going to put you back on the tripod, and I'm going to take the belt off, and then I'll take this motor out. Now I'll lift the motor up, and that will let me take that belt off. It's loose. Now the motor, it's fastened to a key switch. It's just right up there. So it's got a wire on it. So just pull these out. Move my little light. There we go. The motor's out and off. Set it off over here to the side. There we go. Now let's look at what we got. Get a light on in there. Now what we've got inside here, if you'll look, you'll see a long screw. See that? It goes all the way over here to the side. There's a long screw right there. And then over here on the other side, you can't hardly see it, but up under there is another long screw that raises the saw up and down. And it's hard to see those. I'm going to try and see, excuse me, I'm going to try and see if I can get a camera back in there and set it up to where you can see what's going on. Now those two screws, they get sawdust in them. And it gets stuck in there and caked in there where the screws meet into the framing of the saw and keeps it from being able to work up and down and move in and out and that kind of thing. So that causes the saw some physical difficulties in moving like it's supposed to. So what I did earlier was I took a blow nozzle off of with my compressor, and I blew all of the stuff I could blow off of those gears with compressed air. Now I thought that might be enough, but apparently their lubrication is just gone. Okay, so that wasn't enough to make it easier to do. So what I'm going to do is, first off, I'll start off with WD-40, and that will get everything loosened up. Okay, I'll spray some WD-40 in there, and I'll move the saw up and down, and then side to side. Okay, so that gets everything loosened up. But now WD-40 is a great loosener and penetrating fluid, but it's not a great lubricator. Okay, there are a lot better things you can use to lubricate with. So once I get the parts moving like they're supposed to be, that'll get all of the old sawdust and all the crap worked out of there. Then I'll take just a good old-fashioned lithium grease. Okay, it's multi-purpose lithium grease. I'll take a good old-fashioned lithium grease with my finger. I know I'm supposed to wear gloves and cancer, and I know, but I'm going to use my finger and coat that screw where it goes into the shaft. So I'm going to try and get a camera back there so you can see exactly what's going on, and we'll see how it goes from there. Okay, I sprayed it with WD-40, and I've moved both of them to their maximum directions in both directions. I took the saw all the way down, raised it all the way up. I took it all the way to the left and then all the way back to where it's up vertical again. It went like this. It goes down to about 10 degrees or 15 degrees. And then it goes all the way up to 90 degrees. So I got it to do that. But now, like I said, WD-40 is a good lubricant, but it doesn't stay a long time. Okay, it's fish oil. It don't stay a long time. So now what I want to do is I want to get some grease. And all I'm going to do, it's not rocket science. You take a tube of grease, stick your finger in there, get some. Okay, I'm going to get plenty. And I'm going to rub that on those screws. And then I'll work them again, and that'll put this grease all in the screw area, and it will stay a lot longer than it would if I just left the WD-40. Okay, so we'll go back to the GoPro, see if I can't get you a picture of me putting the grease on, and it'll probably be tough to see, but we're going to do the best we can. Okay, now it's time to put the motor back on. So the very first thing I want to do is I want to take a rag and see this grease that's on here. I'm going to take that grease and I'm going to rub it right on these slides. The object is not necessarily to lubricate them, but for rust protection. Okay? Just use the grease that came off my fingers that I wiped onto this rag. Now, don't store these in your shop. Okay? If it was linseed oil, I'd take it outside and burn it before I would store it anywhere. But greasy rags will spontaneously combust, so I try not to store these in the shop. In the shop, I'll take them, put them in a bucket, take them outside. So, till I have my next fire, and then I'll burn them. Oh. It is a heavy little bugger. There we go. Push them up. Now let's get my belt. Oh, I should have got my belt out first. There we go. Get my belt. The weight of the motor is what holds the belt on. So it's what holds the belt, and if it gets bound, it'll let this slip. So now I want to pull this back till it's a comfortable spot. And now tighten these bolts back down. Finger tighten them first, because I'll be forever using the ratchet on tightening them. Don't break your bolts. Get them good and snug. And you may have to come back and tighten them again. Okay? So what? The worst it'll do, if they're not tight enough, is your motor will slide in a little bit and let your belt slip. If your belt starts slipping, you come back here and make sure that those are tight. Okay, the blade is raising up and down good, it's tilting good, probably smoother than it has in years. I probably could have done this years ago. This is the second time I've done that, okay? Second time, this is about, I don't know, this was bought about 92 or 93, okay? So, you can figure how old it is. It's almost 30. So, and I've lubricated it. This is the second time up in there. So now, if you like this stuff, this homesteading, do-it-yourself kind of thing, be certain to come on out to the channel and subscribe. We do this homestead stuff every week, sometimes once, sometimes 5 videos. Just depends on what's going on in the homestead that week. Now, if you hit the little bell, it'll be right up here when you come to the channel. It'll notify you when we upload a video. We upload every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Now, with that being said, it's time for me to get on to the next thing.